Alright guys, so today's video is obviously on the Beats Solo 4s, which was just released last week, but it's more also a discussion on why I don't really understand why these exist and why I feel like Beats is kind of falling into that very boring category, and I feel like they need to start doing things a little bit differently. But we're going to talk about a lot of different things throughout this video, but the first thing that I really want to talk about is the price. Now these come in at $199 and they do not have active noise canceling, which right now the Beats Studio Pros, which would be considered the top tier Beats headphones out there right now, can be picked up for $179. It has active noise canceling, and it's an over-the-ear pair of headphones, where the Beats Solo 4s is an on-ear pair of headphones. And they do share a lot of similarities. There are a few things that have been added to the Solo 4s that was not on the previous model. They did add spatial audio with head tracking, where the previous model of the Solos did have spatial audio, but it didn't have the head tracking. The Solo 4s now use USB-C for charging, and then this pair also has some new updated drivers, and it has Bluetooth 5.3. So, you know, there are a few upgrades here, but if you were to look at these from a build quality and a design standpoint, pretty much nothing has changed other than the fact that they have removed some branding from the top of the headband. They've also removed some branding that are right there on the hinges, and that's pretty much it. There's a few color options here. From what I've seen, there is a black version, there's what they call a cloud pink, and this is the new blue color that they have, which I'm actually a fan of the color, but this essentially just still feels like what Beats has been doing throughout the years anyway. They just occasionally will release different color versions of the Studios and the Solos, and that's just to kind of let people know that, hey, there's just some new colors to buy. And there's going to be some people that say, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, or it's a classic design, it's, you know, they're sticking with it because it's a signature look. And I think that's just kind of a cop-out. I think that's just a way of saying it allows Apple to be lazy. They don't need to redesign or do anything different. Just let them release pretty much the same product they've been releasing over the last, you know, countless amount of years, and just give people a new reason to throw money at a product that pretty much was already available. Some other things is this pair does have lossless audio, but not while being used wirelessly. You do have to use the 3.5mm headphone cable or the USB-C cable to take advantage of lossless audio, which I do not feel like most people are gonna do. I feel like most people are buying these for the main purpose to use them wirelessly. I do like the fact that you have that lossless audio option if you're gonna use them wired, but again, I do wish that Apple would release a pair of wireless headphones where you can have lossless audio while using them wireless. I don't know what they're waiting on. I'm sure that's gonna be in like the new AirPod Pros or maybe the new Apple AirPod Max 2s. But as of right now, they're just releasing products that don't allow you to take advantage of that. Now, as far as anything else they've included, it does come with a case. It's no longer a hard case, it's still that soft case, which really isn't going to protect your headphones very much as far as them being crushed, but it does allow you to house the USB-C cable and the 3.5mm cable. I just don't feel like there's a whole lot of protection here. It's still nice that they've included one, so at least it feels like it's adding to the value of these. Now, another thing is this pair, just like the previous model, doesn't have an official IP rating, so there's nothing that guarantees you against rain or sweat or splashes or things like that. And I don't like this either, because I feel like a lot of people like to use these type of headphones to go to the gym or go for a run or a walk. And so I just like the peace of mind of knowing if it does start to rain or if I am sweating a lot, that it's not going to affect the headphones. And then as far as using them for phone calls. Now, the mics on these I do not feel are as strong as the ones that are on the Studio Pros, and that's probably because this pair does not support noise canceling, nor does it have a transparency mode. And that's what mics are usually used for, like in the Pros. So I think the mics on here are decent. It's still going to be definitely serviceable for phone calls, but it's just still not as good as the Studio Pros. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
Alright guys, so here is the mic test using the Beats Solo 4s, and like I said, it's definitely doing a really good job of picking up my voice. I do notice some digital noise and some artifacts in my voice, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. And this kind of just goes into what Beats has been doing or evolving to since Apple bought them out. They used to be known for being a bass heavy and somewhat muddy sounding pair of headphones. And since Apple has bought them out, they have gradually focused more on clarity, more on bringing out the mids, more on focusing on having a brighter treble, and not necessarily having the low end come in and just destroy everything. And that is kind of the pinnacle of where they've hit with these, because I don't feel like there is a whole lot of bass presence at all. And where I think this is a bad thing is the demographic and the people that usually gravitate towards Beats are used to having a really punchy bass, or at least a slightly warm sound. And this is just getting so far away from that I don't think a lot of people are going to really like the sound, because they're going to want more punch in the low end. I'm a bass head, and I definitely feel like these are flat when it comes to the bass response. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have any at all, but if you're going to compare them to, previous Beats products, the bass is just dwindling further and further down as far as having impact. Now, it's much tighter, it's faster, so it works better across more genres than previous Beats models where it's mainly been made for like pop and hip hop. These can definitely keep up when it comes to metal, like, fast guitar riffs, definitely double bass at the drums. It has no issues keeping up. So I think, from a sound quality standpoint, they are better overall than what previous Beats version has been. This is in line with what the Studio Pros have tried to do as well, is trying to clean up everything, make things sound a little bit brighter. The mids are pushed a little bit more forward so that male and female vocalists and acoustic instruments and things like that don't get lost in the mix. But it's just, I don't know, it just feels like it's lacking that full-bodied sound by not having a more punchy, or at least a more aggressive low end. And then when it comes to the soundstage and the sound imaging, the more that they kind of lean away from having that thicker, punchier bass, their headphones are sounding a little bit more open. And with this pair not having noise canceling as well, it does sound more open and spacious than the Studio Pros do. But again, it's just not as fun to listen to. But I had no issue with being able to tell where different sounds are coming from. So it's good when it comes to that. Now, going back to saying the head tracking and the spatial audio that these have, it's great for movies and videos. I've said this before, I'm not a fan of spatial audio when it comes to music. It's very gimmicky. It's not something that I find very useful. So if it is something you like, it's nice that it is in here having that head tracking where the previous version didn't. But again, it's not something that I would fully take advantage of. So to wrap it up, my overall opinion is this. Beats needs to just do a redesign of all their products altogether. I don't think they're really giving people a reason to go out and buy the newest one, because there's not really much here to make it stand out from the previous version. And that's saying a lot, because the Solo 3s have been out a long time. I think really the only reason to upgrade is if you want to get away from having anything that you need to charge with a lightning cable, and maybe if you want to take advantage of lossless audio using the wired connections. But again, I don't think most people are going to be looking at these specifically for that. Now, the battery life did improve. It went up to 50 hours on a full charge instead of the 40 hours that was on the previous version. The fast charging also went up a little bit more. So on a 10-minute charge, you can get 5 hours of use, which is really nice. So the overall package, it's just a very hard product to recommend at $200, especially when even Beats alone has a better model that you can buy for cheaper. Now, because it's a Beats product, they put stuff on sale all the time. I do think these will probably get around that $129 mark that the Solo 3s are sitting at right now. And I would not be surprised if around the holidays, you'll be able to get these for $99. So at $200, I would say wait and grab them on sale if you're just looking at this pair specifically. And Apple, this is just a note from me. The one pair that I really wish that they would go back and just redesign or bring back, and the one pair that I think is the best pair of Beats headphones that they've released the whole time that they've released Beats products, is the Beats Solo Pros. That pair right there was something very interesting. It still had an aggressive low end. It started to really bring out the details and what, the direction that they're trying to go into now. And it's just a much more fun pair of headphones to listen to. And it's just better built, it's better looking. Apple, if you could, please look into bringing those back, maybe. But as it is right now, I just don't understand the direction that Beats is going in. It's very boring. It's the same look, the same design. There's nothing really there when it comes to the sound. The sound is getting more and more boring, as though they're trying to clean it up, which I do appreciate, but I don't think they should steer away from the low end that they've always kind of been known for. Don't lose that audience, or lose what at least made your headphones fun to listen to throughout the years. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Beats Solo 4s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.